Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of musical, audio and visual things that I pick up from various videos that I watch. This is Video Game Month, and today I am going to be checking out the cover of Unshaken from Red Dead Redemption 2 by Mr. Geoff Castellucci. This is a song I have very little context for. I played the original Red Dead Redemption a long time ago. I didn't actually get around to completing it. It's one of those unfortunate things. I moved to Canada, actually, I think, and stopped playing it and then never got around to picking it back up again. And as somebody who works in video games, it's probably criminal that I haven't completed both games. So it's probably something I should go back and look at. But I don't actually know where this song comes in the game. I have seen the phrase, "May I stand unshaken," in memes and things like that, which I think is a quote from this song. I'm not sure. But I did do a quick little bit of research into this. This was originally by the R&B singer D'Angelo. It actually reached number 6 in the R&B digital song sales chart, which is kind of amazing. And actually, I realized the wording... How I didn't put two and two together, I don't know. But I read that the phrase, "May I stand unshaken," was taken from a proverb by Paramahansa Yogananda, who was an Indian-American Hindu guru. And the proverb was, "You must stand unshaken between the crashing of worlds." I think I have that correct. Hang on one. I should probably get that right. "You must stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds." There we go. And they use that in the song, which is kind of amazing. The few things I do know, Red Dead Redemption 2, this might be a spoiler, so if you haven't played the game, skip forward about 15 seconds, if you think you're going to. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1. The themes that I understood, at least, of Red Dead Redemption 1 was that of the balance of power between was it the Pinkertons or the FBI or something who kind of come to the character in the first place, the sort of outlaw gang life that he used to live, and the evolution of modern society. And I think that is also true in Red Dead Redemption 2, based on what little I know about the game. But it was a really cool concept. It's an open world RPG where you basically roam around this enormous world. You can run around, you can jump on horseback and ride around, and it's a Western. So, you know, gunfights, I know there are quick draw sequences where, at least in the first game, you could hold a button and target multiple enemies at once and, you know, fire off quick shots with your revolver. All the kind of Western tropes, combined with some amazing storytelling. Rockstar... Oh, hello. My own little cowboy. Say hi. The disdain in that look. He says, "How dare you hold me up to a microphone and expect me to dance?" I don't. It's just nice when you do. Yeah, like it's got all the Western tropes, but with this incredible storytelling and this very in-depth world. I was genuinely enjoying my time with it. As I say, it's just one of those weird things. I don't know if you've experienced that, where you're doing something you genuinely have a good time with, but you put it down and you just never get to picking it back up again. And that's literally what happened with me in the original game. I'm also one of those people who cannot... Like, I kind of have to do things in order, and I realize I probably do this way either way round. But... I want to finish, especially because I started it, I want to finish the first game before I play the second, so of course it hasn't happened yet. It will do. But that brings us to Unshaken, D'Angelo's song, and actually I read on Wikipedia, I thought this was quite cool because I didn't know who sang this originally. He was actually somebody who was really excited to hear that this was coming, and he wrote to Rockstar, the studio that produced it, and asked if he could come and play, and he would play for hours apparently late at night in their main building. And because he was so keen on the game, they offered him the opportunity to put a song into it. That's amazing. But also, smart. Why not pick somebody who is passionate about your product? Makes complete sense to me. Anyway, Mr. Castellucci has covered it, and I'm willing to bet it's going to be fantastic. As is obvious from what I have said so far, I have no context for this. I think I've probably heard a couple of clips from it. It's kind of hard not to when you're somebody who digests video game content on YouTube. But I don't think I could actually put my finger on it and say I remember hearing this piece of music. So this is essentially completely blind for me to the song as well as to the cover. And I'm kind of interested and excited to see what's coming my way. So we will jump in. So welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch the video straight through. I will emote and comment over the top of it, but I won't stop it. I will then go back to the beginning and watch it a second time. This time pausing, interrupting, offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can based on what I've just seen and heard, and of course the foreknowledge of having seen it once before. Please do like the video, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. All of these things help the channel so much. They don't cost you anything, but they do amazing things for me. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you care to donate to support the channel, you can do so by heading to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts or patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or leaving a super thanks here on YouTube, any of which would be very gratefully received. No pressure, of course, to do so. And that's everything, I think. So, incidentally, there are probably a lot of people I could say thank you to for recommending this to me. I didn't write anybody down because as soon as it came out, I got a flood of recommendations. So, the community at large, I appreciate the recommendation. I am looking forward to seeing what this is. So here we go. This is Mr. Castellucci's cover of Unshaken from Red Dead Redemption 2. That's a statement opening. Oh, I like this. Ooh. Woo! Hello. Oh, wow. Amidst the crash of the world, may I stand unshaken. What great harmony. This is lovely. Amidst the crash of the world. Here we go. Did I hear thunder? Did I this is... hear you break? Woo! Didn't see that one coming. Wow. Just what guided me this way. May I stand unshaken. So atmospheric. Video and audio. Amidst the crash of the world. The past, they often whisper you. They whisper when no tongue can tell. Wow. He who drinks from the deep water may know the depths of the well. Whoa. So rich. This arrangement's gorgeous. Amidst the crash of the world, may I stand unshaken. Amidst the crash of the world. Oh, that's nice. What have you seen? That little close two-part harmony. Wow. Where you been? Where you been? Where have you been? Did someone turn Geoff down an octave? Against the wall. I love this percussion he's got going on behind it too. Oh wow, even more mood lighting. It was there, but I could not see, no. Am I to wander as a wayward son? Will the hunter be haunted? Wow. The harmonic, like brush strokes he's using here are beautiful. Oh, I love what he did with the depth there of the sound as well. Oh, that two-part again. Wow. Hello.
Stand unshaken amid the crash of the world.
Oh, wow. Good. Cool.
Hey y'all, Geoff here. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing. Videos like this would be impossible for me to make without the support of the community at Patreon. If you'd like early access to videos, the karaoke version of the song, behind-the-scenes footage, audio session walkthroughs, or just to hop on a web chat with me, head on over to Patreon and check it out. Special thanks goes to Huldra Draco, Mythos Myths, Temo Krempley, Diane Holland, Sarah Borzelli, Sarah O, Lori Templeman, Laura Mueller, Debbie Goodling, Jordy S, A.M. Person, Angie Woolard, Carl and Melanie Thomas, Elsa and Lagerstall and Dorothy Broom, and Debs Badger. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, good look. Did somebody find one of Geoff's clone's transpose buttons and just drop him down an octave? I feel like we don't... Like, that was an amazing amount of super bass Geoff. Whoa! Yep, wow. That was truly remarkable. Not having any context to the song, of course, I can't comment much on how it's changed. What I can do is say what an outrageously good arrangement. That might be one of Geoff's best arrangements I've heard so far. The use of layering, the use of small harmony sections here and there. It's just, this is genius. Let's do my usual quick glance and see if there's any information to glean from his description. Unshaken from RDR2 has been on the list for quite some time now, and this felt like the perfect opportunity to bring the riders back. Fair. Obviously, D'Angelo's version is iconic, but I hope you enjoyed my spin on it too. I certainly did. Arranged, produced for... Okay, all the things by Geoff, we know that. Mixed by Ed, production manager Kathy, all the usual. Makeup and facial hair, Rick Underwood. That's an entertaining addendum to the makeup. Lighting automation by Ellie. Interesting. Now, I know a reasonable amount of lighting. I've lit multiple theatre shows in my time, but lighting automation is a new term to me. I don't know if someone who's seen the BTS wants to tell me what that's about, or if there's someone in my audience who knows a little bit more about lighting automation. I'm curious. Does that, like... Was that just saying that it was programmed, or is that saying that it was set to go off at specific times during the track? Because that should absolutely be possible. You just set a fade on a light, or a delay on a light for X number of seconds, and then it changes when it gets to that point. I'm not sure about that term. That's a new one to me. Special consultant Matthew Buckner, whatever that might be about, I don't know what he would be consulted on, and filmed at Pattygate, of course. Unshaken was originally recorded and released by D'Angelo and appears in the video game Red Dead Redemption 2 just after a pivotal moment for the lead character Arthur Morgan. Apparently it's a super good game, but alas, my video game skills peaked at Super Mario Brothers on the original Nintendo. Well, frankly, Geoff, the old games were not the easiest. So, that's probably not a particularly terrible skill level. Has anybody else had that experience where you've gone back? There was some game you used to play when you were a kid, and you were so good at it, and you've gone back to play it since, and you're dreadful. Like, do we develop a fear of losing, or is it like the blind faith of a child, or like the confidence of a child? I don't know what it is, but I've gone back and I've played, particularly for me actually, Sonic the Hedgehog. I used to be amazing at the Sonic the Hedgehog games. I'm sure I wasn't amazing, but I would beat them on a fairly regular basis, and on the Sega Mega Drive that I used to play them on, you couldn't save your game. You had to beat it in one sitting. I may not have done everything, but I beat the games. I go back and try and play them now. I'm terrible at them. It's fascinating. I'm used to my third-person RPGs and, my more contemporary gaming. It's just one of those things I've observed. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going on the biggest tangent right now. So goodness knows what that is. I just saw in the description where Geoff has his socials. He says, "Follow me, Geoff Castellucci, for more facial hair tips." I enjoy Geoff's sense of humour very much. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of this beast of a base cover and see what I can tease out of it, because wow, this is good. I mean, I have to stop it right there, don't I? Partly I feel like it's becoming a trademark for me, but what an impactful opening. You just get the tambourine shake and then bang! Huge contrast on the screen. Like this, the dark shadow of Geoff, you can just see enough detail to get his features. But this blood red, I mean Red Dead Redemption, but also blood red background, just poof, straight on the screen. The contrast here is huge. It's amazing what he's done with this. The lighting in this is spectacular. I feel like, I don't know, 8-10 months ago, it's like somebody let Ellie off his leash. Like, he was obviously good, but the work he's been producing over the last year or so has just been better and better. He is getting so good at... He was so good at this. He's getting even better. Excuse me for 1 second. I realise it's quite late at night, and I am being informed in no uncertain terms that some food is required. I shall return momentarily. Okay, back. Yeah, I am really, really impressed with everything that Ellie's doing, and his work in this is astonishing. The use of shadow, the use of contrast, the use of colour, it is all fantastic. I mean, is this not a really threatening opening shot for something? Like, Geoff looks menacing. He's got the coat, it kind of gives him this bulky look. I mean, the man's built, but like, it gives him presence on the screen. The hat, the hair, like, this is not somebody you would want to cross. Not with this shot right here. Great stuff. What a powerful start this is. Gentle music, it says. It's true, but that first beat certainly isn't. I love that we see each Geoff clone doing their thing for a minute. And there's something powerful about the fact that yes, there's one person rotating the stick. Or the gun. Is it a gun? I think it might be a rifle. But it's not... There's no big movement. He's not moving, the camera isn't panning, there's still shots. And we just see these gentle movements of the people, and then I think it's actually very effective that they end on this Geoff, who is just looking down. And again, there's something kind of iconically cowboy about the pose with the head tipped down, the silhouette of the hat being so obvious. And in this case, what's really nice too, again, the way that Ellie has lit this, the light shining off the top of the hat as well. So you add this red... there's more to what we're seeing here. This is so good. Oh. Lovely choice there to go from these, fairly defined strummed notes to a harmonic chord to finish off, where the fingers are just resting on the strings. Obviously, I realise Geoff is playing a VST in here, but the effect he's going for is the fingers resting on the strings fairly high up the fretboard, and it gives you this high, stunned sound that he's then applied a bit of echo to as well. It's such an effective sound on which to stop the music for a break. Very, very cool. Oh, sorry. We'll get through this, I promise. The touch of the candle in the lantern just flickering. It's the one bit of colour that is not red or shadows of red. And then you get this down strum. So strumming from the top of the guitar, he says as he does it the wrong way, you'd be pulling up. Strumming from the top strings of the guitar down, so you get that as it goes down. So as you hold a guitar, the string that's closest to your chin is the lowest string on the guitar. So normally when somebody's strumming, you know, the natural strum just to pick up a guitar is to go boom and go down, but you're actually going upwards to create that effect. And just that, and as you land down, you get this kind of crash in the background. That is such an effective bit of sound design right there. And again, that's the moment that we pull back to this wide shot. It's impactful. It lends a little extra menace to what we're seeing here. It's keeping the tension high at the beginning of this video. We've started this. This is the first sound of a vocal that we've had so far. We've just had guitar music and the what the lighting provides us, and how high is the tension already? This is magnificent. I love so many things about this. Oh my lord, this one's going to take a while. But just the we just have that's it. That's all we've had is a hum at this point. And yet it's just such a powerful entry at that point. Also the crash, you get the flickering of the lights, but it hasn't gone. It's kind of like thunder would be, is, you know, you get the flash where it lights up the room maybe, and then it goes away again. And that's what's happened here. We've gone back to the red. It's not like they used that as an excuse to turn all the lights on and brighten the image. It's just an impact that's happened in the space, and it's gone away again just as it would, and we're back to here again as we start. I love how that it's so easy for him to and down he goes with no effort whatsoever. It just feels it's amazing. I don't know what here. Let's have a quick glance. What note are we actually singing at that point? So I think that's a G1, which is a sound that Geoff is very comfortable with, but the fact that he just drops down there seemingly without any effort whatsoever at the end of a quiet humming passage, it's a low note. It is less than an octave from the bottom of a piano, and yet it's so light. That's, I think, the remarkable thing about that note for me. The amount, the brightness that he's managed to keep in it. It doesn't have that kind of, and maybe it's because it's a hum. Maybe it's because it's a note that, you know, he can comfortably hit in chest, and so he's not having to extend his range. But sometimes that G1 can have kind of like a growly kind of quality to it that really seats it in its depth. It doesn't have that here. It just has this gentle touch on the bottom that is just spectacular. May I stand unshaken. So I love as we get this. One, we get all the full harmony immediately, which after the quiet, sort of gentle nature of that humming intro, I love that we still have quiet vocals, but they're coming in with some strength. It is all four parts singing straight away. There's no build here. We just come in with everything. It gives us this immediate harmonic texture that we add in, but it also adds weight to the beginning of this song. The fact that we're coming in straight away, full tilt, in terms of number of voices that could be in this thing. May I stand unshaken. Those lyrics too. What a powerful opening to a song. But it's a great choice not to have had that as a solo line, or like solo with humming or something like that. To have all four of them singing the line. Fantastic choice. I love the gentle rise of the lights too. It kind of brings them into the frame. Even though we're looking at them, they've been silhouetted. And so it's a nice transition. Rather than just, boom, lights on, everybody's suddenly in full screen. We have that rise. It brings them in as we watch. Very, very effective. And also the reduction of the letterbox. The black... excuse me. Hiccups. The the black letterbox on top of the bottom of the screen just slowly pulling back now that we're coming into full colour. And the sort of the full presentation of the song. Lovely choice.
Stand unshaken, amidst the crash of the world.
I love that. I think... I don't know the melody. Here's the thing, right? So this is a completely new song for me. What I'm trying to decipher here is, are we getting a slightly powerful harmony, or is the melody the thing that's ending on the minor third? The may I stand unshaken, or is it may I stand unshaken? One of them is the melody, but I love the balance that we have there, because one of the themes that seems to run through this, and we'll see how true this statement is as I carry on, have you obviously only seen it the one time, but it's that sense of dual harmony, two Geoffs singing a harmonic, matched movement as they go through the harmony. And that's what's happening here. We have the minor third and the tonic starting points, and they're kind of moving pretty much in sync with each other, up and down. And it's lovely that we get that here, and then it's going to be in the middle a little bit later. Like, there's a lot of flex with how he uses that. Also, nice touch that, as well as the lights on the Geoffs, we're now getting a little bit of warm light coming in through the window at the back. It's not a lot. It's still very definitively a red background, but it's enough just to change the tone. Everything feels a little bit warmer now. Red is a very warm colour, but it feels warmer from an emotional perspective. It doesn't. The tension has dispersed a little bit.
Amidst the crash of the world, may I stand unshaken. Amidst the crash of the world.
Here we go.
So many good things. I love that they're so still. It's really nice because it lets you soak in that lyric. May I stand unshaken amidst the crash of the world. Is that the... amidst the crash of the world. Now I've got the proverb stuck in my head. It's lovely because it lets that lyric wash over you. There's nothing distracting you from that. And then just as we get to the end of it, I love that you have that moment where you see... I'm going to go with my terminology of prime Geoff. You see the motion of him readying to put his hat on, and it brings the eye to him so that when he does put it on, it's not the motion of putting it on that catches your eye. Your eye has already been caught. Really smart little bit of choreography there. The shift, the simple preparation catches your eye, you look at him, and then you take in the entire motion on your first viewing, because that's where the eye has been drawn to. And then we have that lovely, here we go. I am the narrator. I'm about to tell you this story. Let's get into it. Lovely, lovely.
Amidst the crash of the world.
Here we go. Did I hear thunder?
That's so simple. Just the little bit of reverb and decay going on there on the guitar, and just one chord, and then he sings this line over the top of it. Really, really nice, because now this could have been the way the song started. Right here with a solo line, a simple guitar chord, this lovely gentle percussion that we've got going in the background. Really nice choice of percussion instruments, by the way, Geoff. Really, really good stuff there. We could have started just like this. I love that we started on the chorus with the chorus. And now we're getting this solo line as the story begins, because this whole thing up to now has been, are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. Right? That's the setup that we just had. It's that, come with me into my world, come to my story, get ready for my story. Now you're ready, I'm going to tell it to you. Ah, magic.
Hear thunder.
And he's still so still. It's just, magic stuff. This piercing gaze down the camera, like he's looking right into your soul as you're watching.
Did I hear your breath?
What was that? I'm sorry, Geoff. You saw how much that caught me aback in the reaction. I was not expecting that in the middle of that line, and then just to bounce right back out of it again.
Hear your breath. Did I hear your breath?
I think he goes down an octave and a semitone. Did I He goes slightly under.
Did I hear you break?
Yeah, he goes a little bit lower than an octave, I think, and it's really interesting because it becomes almost more an effect sound than a melody. The fact that he's put that in the middle of this. Also, did I hear you break? I mean, it makes total sense to do that on a line like that because you have this vocal that sounds like a landslide. This rumble of rocks down here. It's, the crack. And it's also literally a break in the melody. If you take the rumble out, did you break? Like, it's a gap. He's put a gap in, but it's not a gap because he fills it with this gravelly sound down at the bottom. What a wonderful choice.
Hear you break. Can't quite remember.
That shift. Wow. We still have the red coming down on them from above. You can see it on the tops of the hats. You can see it on the tops of the crates. We'll talk about the set in a minute. But the shift to suddenly have the light come up at the back. Now, what I'm not 100% sure of here is this white light, and this is the colour of the wood that we're looking at now, and I may have forgotten things that happen later. We might see that answer itself. Or is this a slightly yellowy light to give it that old effect that we've kind of got going on here? Whichever the answer is to that, really, really lovely choice. I adore. Geoff does simple sets so well. He takes something very simple, kind of, for want of a better phrase, repetitive. What do we have here? Stools, barrels, crates, milk jugs, a rope, a saddle, a skull, a couple of horseshoes, a bunch of lanterns. Like, it's just stuff. There's no... You're not looking at this place going, oh, this is clearly, the Shady Alley Saloon with that old piano in the corner that breaks down every fifth time somebody plays it, and that's the table over there that got smashed the last time that Two Teeth McGraw got into a fight. There's none of that. It's all effect oriented, and yet somehow he's turned it into a cohesive set. Maybe not quite such a good example, but the graveyard he set up for Jack's Lament. Similar premise. Like, he just does these simple things. He doesn't use too much. There's a lot of stuff, yes, but because a lot of it's repetitive, like, you'd expect to walk into a barn or even a saloon potentially if they're getting a delivery, say, and you'll see a few stacks of crates here and there. You'll see a couple of barrels of beer. That's perfectly expected. And so even though this is not a definable set, it is a comprehensive one, and I think that is really great. It allows him to exist in this oeuvre in a way that is completely believable. Gah!
Did I hear you break? Can't quite remember just what got it.
I love how he's delivering this.
Can't quite remember.
The break in his voice there, remember. I can't do it. I don't have the control over my voice that he does. But there's like there's a little bit of fry that creeps into the back of the voice as he comes back up to the and it gives it this, I can't quite remember. We're getting the sense of fragility, of a lack of completeness about that line. This is masterful work.
Can't quite remember just what got it. Maybe this way.
And the harmony coming in there, so airy. It's very aspirate singing, but I think there's probably also just a smidge of post-production on there as well to kind of give it this ethereal quality. Like, it almost is like the riders are back. I mean, I know that, they're not being presented as Ghost Riders in this sense, but they almost could be in that moment. And it's just fantastic. And listen to the change in quality of that low note. I assume that's the G1. Is that the G1 again? Okay, yeah, we haven't got it anywhere. Like, this time it's airy. It's not got the security. Even though I said it was light beforehand, It was secure. It was grounded. This one's a lot more airy. He's using the quality of his voice so much in this.
Me this way. May I stand unshaken.
Sorry, there's a fly buzzing around me like crazy. The choice to have a whistle in at that point, it's great because here we have narration, we have storytelling going on at this moment. This is, sit down, folks, let me tell you a story about this situation.
This way. May I...
And you get that crash back down to the red as the whistle comes in. This is almost setting us back into the moment of being a cowboy. This is living. A moment ago he was telling the story. Here he's almost living it. And we get that the use of I can't think what it's called. The instrument that's kind of giving us that rattle. Is it a rattle? I feel like there's a percussion name for it. But that combined with the whistle, it's giving us that classic cowboy soundtrack feel. Like, you get a momentary hint of your Ennio Morricone coming through or something like that. And it just catapults you into that vibe straight away. And then simple motions like going for the hat. How often have you seen a cowboy movie where somebody goes in and they have the moment of taking their hat off? And it's that same motion, reach for the front. It's small. He's just using small little archetypes and stereotypes to just really play on how we perceive what he's doing. It's just great.
This way. May I stand unshaken amidst the crash of the world.
And now we've got that same G1 again, but much stronger. And that's kind of more, it's got that little bit of growl in it. It's not the clean sound we had at the beginning, but it's not the aspirate sound we had the last time. He's changed it around yet again. I also like the fact that the two Geoffs on the left hand, well, on his left, our right, on the screen, one put the hat on at the beginning of the verse, and now at the end of the verse, the other one takes his hat off. Nice little bit of bookending going on there. And now we have a completely different Geoff beginning to sing, switching around a little bit.
Amidst the crash of the world, the past, they often whisper you.
And notice now we've got a different colour in the background. Now there's a hint of this sort of sea green about it. And we have a different Geoff singing. We have a bit more active percussion. We have that lovely kind of like the percussion lead, that sort of almost reverse cymbal sound coming back into the beginning of this verse. So many things doing just to indicate a subtle shift, a subtle elevation, a subtle additional level of layering going on in this. It's whoa. This is masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece.
They often whisper you. They whisper when no tongue can tell. When no tongue can tell.
The use of dissonance that's going on in this is remarkable. Listen to this. I mean, firstly, I love the harmony. We have this ooh, quite a little bit airier. But we've got, it's kind of drifting in the background a little bit, supporting everything that this Geoff is now singing. Really, really nice stuff. But I can't even quite make out there. I want to try and get this right. He shifts. You get this. Does he go down to the second? Is that what's happening? Till. It's almost like he does minor third down to the tonic and up to the second in this like almost non-stop fluid motion. No tongue can tell. So we're ending. We've kind of got this tonic minor chord going on in the background, but he's sliding up to that second, and it's giving us this dissonant thing, especially in a minor, because it's one thing when you've got da, 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 you've got your major key. If you do a second and a third, you get that lovely kind of rich harmony. because they are a tone apart. If it's da da da, there's only a semitone between those two notes, and so that harmony suddenly becomes a lot more uncomfortable. It's dissonant, it's clashy, and it's just he's using it so well because it's in that growl tone of his lower voice to a point where it took a second for me to figure out where the dissonance was, and it's actually in the Geoff who is singing the melody right now. This is great.
Is where what no tongue can tell. He who drinks from the deep water.
I love the rhythm there. He who drinks from the deep water. He who drinks from the deep water. So conversational. He's deliberately delayed the onset of that to be offbeat so that he can deliver it in this very casual fashion. It's such a simple line to him here. He's not putting key emphasis on points of this. It's just this person. This person. And of course we're having lines about water while we've got this kind of liquid colour on the back, this sea green colour.
He who drinks from the deep water may know.
Here we go. Sorry, I just punched the screen that my camera is attached to. I apologise. But here we go again with this lovely two-person matched movement harmony. Wonderful stuff.
Who drinks from the deep water may know the depths of the well.
Three-person.
May know the depths of the well. Whoa.
Am I just not hearing this right?
The depths of the well.
Are two of them doubling each other and then there's the higher harmony? Or am I just mishearing that? I think that's what's happening. Really, really nice stuff there. It's just, it sounds so rich. And yet, maybe it is doubling because the melody is still coming through strikingly, even though we have this clear higher harmony coming through over the top. That's beautiful.
May know the depths of the well.
And you, in the background, it's so far back, you have bass Geoff providing notes down there, supporting this all with bass notes, but we're almost not hearing it. I'm just catching it here and there, because that's not the focus at this point, and that's a really interesting choice for a bass singer, doing what, by his own words, in the title of almost all of his videos, I think, is a low bass singer cover. And yet the low bass right now is the least important part that we're listening to. And this is so lovely. We come back to the red again, but we've left the lights up on Geoff. All four of him. So we're still seeing him clearly. We're in a slightly more kind of inclusive version of this world now, because we are still able to see him, even though we've gone back to this darker lighting behind. And I love that what we're effectively getting here is a bass descant. Descant, for those who don't know the term, you have your melody and your harmony being sung, but then you have a singer, usually a soprano, quite frequently, like a coloratura or something like that, if you're talking about opera, but even in hymns or something like that, you'll have a soprano line that goes off into the heights and sings a counter melody over the top. It's effectively what Geoff is doing here. He's just doing it in his boots. That's great. There again! Oh, this harmony! Geoff, you're killing me! Listen to this. Amid. It's sitting on the fourth and it doesn't come up to the fifth. You might expect amid the crash of the world. It's amid. And it doesn't quite. Amid. Yeah, what's the chord? I'm trying to... So it is actually, it's interesting because they've gone down to the minor seventh. So that fourth that he's landing on is technically in that chord. It's just not where we want it to resolve to. We want it to go up to lead us back down to that tonic. And then, wow! This is almost liturgical in the way that he's singing this, the harmony here. That is magic, that little phrase right there. That is so good.
What have you seen?
And I love how we set ourselves into this kind of slightly more contemporary singing now, because you get that, oh, traveler, boom. You get the drum beat after he's got there. It's like he cuts off, because he cuts off quick. Oh, and the gesture too. He's throwing it away. Oh, traveler. And as soon as he sings that, you get the hit of the bass drum. And in comes this more powerful drum sound that we're dealing with right now. We're elevating again. But it's just such an effective shift.
What have you seen?
And there's the gap. Oh, traveler. 2, 3. What have you seen? It's like there's a nice gap there. It lets the music breathe for a second. But it's also that timing is more contemporary. We are doing something a little bit different with the music now to what we've been doing for the last couple of verses. Oh, wow.
What have you seen? Were there crossroads? Where you been? Where you been? Where have you been?
Oh! I love that repetition. Where you been? Where you been? Where you been? Really, really nice. It's just, it kind of allows those lyrics to drift in your mind for a moment. At the same time, it's a very different sound. And this is, I think, I'm getting the vibe here that this is representative of that clash between worlds that we're talking about in this proverb, in this chant that is in here. I saw the word chant used on Wikipedia. It's a little less appropriate, I feel, maybe here than it might be in the D'Angelo version. I'd have to listen to it to be sure. But it's still got that kind of, it's got a sense of almost being like it moves around, so it's not truly, and I keep using this word recently, but I'm getting a drone-like quality from it, but also like a sort of vague ostinato, almost, like it could be carrying on if it had chosen to do so. It's not, it's clearing the way for the verses, but I just love that we're now breaking away from that. We're going into slightly different forms of singing, and it could be that, you know, we've gone from the cowboy, here's the slightly more contemporary society that he's at odds with. Gang life versus city life. Interesting. That progression actually really interesting. Been, where's our fifth? Been, where you been? We're on our second. Where you? And the logic would be where you been, when, where you been, and we keep it within that sixth. But instead, he drops it right down the octave, and it opens this breadth of the question. Where have you been?
Where you been? Where you been? Where have you been?
And straight out of that bottom G1, and this has the true, like, gravel growl quality. I once was standing tall. He's suddenly up high. We immediately come in. Now we have two high Geoffs singing together. Note that we're continuing this theme of duo harmony. I mean, possibly trio is the other Geoff singing. Yeah, it is all three of them, and actually I think that is three-part harmony I'm hearing. To anybody who hasn't seen my channel before, I'm not the greatest at dissecting chords. I could sit here and do it with a piano and take tons of time, but that wouldn't make for interesting viewing for you folks, so I just kind of gloss over it. If I'm wrong, if there are two Geoffs singing here, or two lines, there's obviously three of them singing, if there are two lines here and there were three lines earlier, I don't worry too much about that distinction. What I am hearing, though, is this lovely harmonic motion where they're moving together, up together, down together, creating this beautiful sound. And every time we hear it, it's been a different arrangement of Geoff's, a different register. Like, he's changing so much up as he's doing this.
Will you
I once was standing tall.
Well, now I feel my back's against the wall.
That's so lovely. The wall, may I. Like that lovely, we've go through that da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. That same motion each time, but it drop. While the motion is going up of that 2-note phrase, the repetition is going down. That's beautiful. I love that. And notice how it changes its tempo each time too. Oh, ba-bum, 3, 4, ba-bum, bum, 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 bum. So we have a 16th note the first time around, an 8th note the second time around, and a quarter note the third time around. Not only are we dropping, the tempo at which those 2 notes are sung is lengthening as we go as well. This is fantastic arranging.
Against the wall.
And again, that harmony in the background, tight together. Stand unshaken, stand unshaken. What is it? Stand unshaken, stand unshaken. Like moving together, keeping it tight, keeping it close. It's not like he's got somebody up here and somebody down here. Doing the harmony, the down here bit is the melody. Really nice what he's doing with how he's balancing his voices. And now he's being so much freer with how he's taking this. Yes, he was embellishing before. Yes, he was throwing in these deep notes. But it was almost more for effect. This time it's more kind of like a riffy... Show off is the wrong word, but he's embellishing for... to kind of change the music up a little bit, where previously it was more to change the vibe, or at least that's the feeling that I got from it, because it was these sudden crashing bass notes all over the place that were just kind of adding to the tension. Here it's a little bit more kind of adding to the melody, adding to the flow. So he's changed up even how he's using his voice to play with the melody. It's great. Aha! That drop! May I think. No, nope, sorry. I was thinking of starting on the third, it's starting on the tonic. Just straight down the arpeggio. May I. But it's so quick! His agility in these deeper recesses of his voice is so impressive. He is like the alacrity in his voice as he moves around. May I stand unshaken, da da da, the crash of the world. Like, he's all over the place. If you drew a line, just represent, like, let alone musical notes, if you actually traced a line, it would be all over a stave. It would be bouncing all over the place. This is extraordinary. And I love that. The crash of the... So where? Amid the crash of... Previously, he did the da, 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 and went down. This time he's doing da, da. He's going up. And you think he's going to settle there. And he drops. This is so good.
When the morning light, it comes to me. It was there, but I could not see, no.
Oh-ho! The choice is here, too. I love that we have also that repetition of this time we don't have the whistle, we have the tubular bell and the rattle as everything fades down into darkness again.
It comes to me.
It comes to me. We're settling on that minor third there, and you kind of expect him to fall down, but he doesn't.
It was there, but I could not see.
But I could not see. For the infinitesimal amount of time, he resolves to the tonic, but I could not see. And then he goes back down again.
No.
And then no. He comes back up to it. No. Oh. And immediately leaves it again, going in the opposite direction. He's keeping us in suspense throughout this entire song.
But I could not see, no.
Am I to wonder?
And that re-entry at that point in time, this rich harmony he's been playing with the whole time. Even the way he comes off that note.
Not see, no.
Am I to wonder?
Am I to wonder? At the end, that little aspiration that he adds to the end of it. It adds, am I to wander as a wayward son? Am I to be lost in this new world? Like, he's adding that tone of confusion and insecurity into his vocal performance. This is just so good.
Not see, no.
Am I to wonder as a wayward son? Will the
Carry on. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I couldn't help it.
wonder as a wayward son? Will the hunter be haunted?
And now listen to how much wider the harmony is because he's gone up. Hunter! And this is fascinating. Hunter be hunted! -7, -6 down to the 5th. That's a beautiful motion. And it sets this lovely questioning sense into the melody.
Son, will the hunter be haunted by the smoky?
Oh, sorry, he doesn't actually go down. Oh! Yeah, that's where this went.
Will the hunter be haunted by the smoke?
The hun of hunted is such a clean chord, and then he changes it.
Will the hunter be haunted?
There's that's a suspension, and it could hun is kind of, I think, where it's going.
Wayward son, will the hunter be haunted?
Han is what you expect to happen, and it does. You get that haunted, but everything else shifts. So instead of maintaining that suspension and going into the more complete chord, we actually go to an even more questioning one. Like, what is Geoff doing to me today?
As a wayward son, will the hunter be haunted by the smoking gun?
And then the rhythm too, by the smoking gun, the way he's using it, by the smoking gun. Smoking gun is the important part there. We can get rid of by the. Will he be hunted by the smoking gun? By the is incidental to the emphasis that you want to place on the words that are threatening. Will the person who is a hunter have the very thing he uses to hunt coming after him? Will the gang member who has been threatening, riding roughshod through life all this time, riding into town with a brace of pistols or his rifle, now have that very same thing coming after him? Magnificent. And I love that this is where he gets out the revolver and is just like, is this going to be my undoing?
Will be haunted by the smoking gun. May I stand unshaken.
And now we go right back to the beginning. Now we have this electric guitar sound coming through. Now we've gone back to this really high contrast lighting. And you have this lovely boom, boom, boom thing, which they are accenting with the rifles thumping them on the floor, like he's done with 16 Tons back in the day, which I think was my very first... Oh no, I did Monster Mash first. I think 16 Tons was my second Geoff reaction. But he's so good if he's holding a prop at incorporating it into the music. And he's doing it again right now.
Stand unshaken amidst the crash of the world.
This is the sound, like, this is this twangy guitar that we've got going on in the background. This is like the sound of a contemporary Western. Not the Ennio Morricone sound anymore. Now we've come somewhere, I don't know my contemporary Westerns, but we've come to a sound that is... I don't know if this even is the sound of a contemporary Western, but it could be. It's a more modern tone that we've got to the instrumentation in the background right now. And it's electric. You know, it's not whistling and kind of just guitar chords and effects. It's actually the tone of the guitar sound that's going on in the background. Like that bow, bow, but it's also James Bondy, like that kind of twang going on. So good.
Amidst the crash of the world.
And listen to how close that harmony is.
Amidst the crash of the world.
The crash of the world, the crash of the world. Like everything's so tight. And it's just, this is a very small, if you wrote if you leave the bits where he's doing melody off in the bass or up in this sort of high end of his register, and just focus on the harmony, I feel like it probably wouldn't split much past a sixth. He's keeping it very contained the whole way through this. I might be off piece there, it might be wider than that, but the feeling is much tighter than the harmony that we often get from a Geoff arrangement. And I think that's why this one's hitting me so hard, is it's kind of giving us this very contained gut punch of sound.
Amidst the crash of the world. Stand unshaken.
May I, he goes down and gives us that rock solid G1. May I. That is an unshaken sound.
Stand unshaken.
I mean, what is that? Stand on Shay? He doesn't even fully enunciate the end of that word. It leaves it questioning.
Stand unshaken.
Stand unshaken. That's kind of what we get there. Not quite. Not 100% sure the melody that he's singing there. But he's gone from May I in the most solid sound. Stand unshaken is so much less grounded. This is genius.
Stand unshaken.
That sound right there, too. The crash of the world. It's almost unenunciated, like it's lazy. The crash of the world, as opposed to the crash of the world, which, yes, I know that sounded a bit more legit than what he's doing, but he's been giving us that level of enunciation up to this point, and then this crash of the world, not crash of the world, crash of the world. It's just, the consonants disappear, it gives us this ethereal fading into the background quality almost. And then they've set that sound slightly further back in the mix. It sounds like it's behind the other Geoffs, which is just such a fascinating choice. It gives us this very incorporeal quality. It's like there's the crash of the world harmonies, then there's the crash of the world harmony, and then there's Geoff in front. They're forming this kind of V shape in my mind's eye as I hear them singing. And now all the instruments come in and we get the question firmly rooted. Stand unshaken. All the enunciation comes back in with this. He's come from this slightly we're fading away, and then suddenly we're reasserting that question. Great stuff.
Stand unshaken. unshaken.
Sound design magnificence amidst the crash of the world. What a great move. You get the flash of the lightning, which we set up earlier in the song. World. Lovely higher harmonies, while we've got this very comfortable mid-range Geoff singing this lovely embellished part here. And again, with the two-part harm, and even the same movement. May I... And we have it built up on these higher parts that are going on here. This elevated drum sound we've got going on. You have outdone yourself, sir. Really. Amid the crash of the world, amid the crash of the world. And it's so open. What? It's not world. What? He's got this lovely, this huge projection because he's gone for that slightly more open, world, almost. And it's just, it sails out at the top of this to have such a powerful note be so high. It could have easily been a crash of the world. And he could have made it just as big, but he's chosen to go up here definitively.
Stand unshaken.
And now we just have that hanging chord and the tone of Geoff's voice singing this final line.
Stand unshaken.
So that when he gets to the word unshaken, the guitar chord is almost gone, the vocals have gone. You just feel like all you're hearing at that point is Geoff's melody line.
Amid the crash of the world.
And that slow arpeggio in the guitar to finish off, and the final chord, and this time it is a world. It's not a wild, it's a world. It's really round. It's very kind of like, it's a dark sound to finish off on this beautiful, I forgot this word the other day too. There's a word for when you see people like arrayed on a stage in a pose, and it is gone from my mind. You'd never know I've worked in theatre for 20 years. Again, the word that's in my head is diorama, but that's not right. That's more models and stuff like that. I cannot place what I'm trying to say. But anyway, irrelevant.
Crash of the
I love that bow, 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 and you get that wow, 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 wow sound going on there. That lovely fade of this old sounding guitar with this beautiful dark note that comes in not on the beat.
The crash of the world.
It comes a beat late. And I have said this before, Geoff is an absolute master at knowing exactly how long to let that final chord ring, to let it drift away. And right at the moment where you feel it's done, blackout. Or just screen off, whatever it happens to be. He is so good at that. That is exactly how long I want that final chord to ring. That final image of the four Geoffs silhouetted against that stark red contrast again, to breathe for a second, and then it's done. So good! Ah! Geoff, you've killed me. Wow. I've got more of Video Game Month left to come, and I don't know if anything's going to beat this for just the impact that it's had on me. This is remarkable work. Bravo. Bravo. I genuinely feel like this is your best yet, in my personal opinion. I mean, there's plenty of your stuff I haven't heard yet, but... Whew, amazing stuff. Amazing. Thank you for joining me. I mean, if you're anything like I'm going to be for the next, I don't know, 2 years, any excuse to hear that again. Wow, that was remarkable. I'm going to have to go and listen to the D'Angelo version now just to see what Geoff has based this on, because I'll be fascinated to know the differences. But that arrangement, that performance, that visual was something else. Thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate it, especially if you're still here at the end of this well over an hour video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. That is truly, truly incredible. I'm so superfluous at this point in my praise, and I'm just going to keep going. But I really do hope that you enjoyed that and that you got something out of it. If I just introduced you to Geoff, wow, that was a good way to come in. If you hadn't heard the song yet, well, you should have done. I forgot to say at the beginning, it's linked in the description below. But also, don't watch reactions before you've seen the original thing. Unless I'm bringing you to an artist, I guess. If you're not sure if you like the artist, but you like my work, then that's great. But if you know Geoff, listen to his work first. Support him. I'm simply putting my angle of appreciation onto what the work that he does, which is quite remarkable, and his team is phenomenal. But yes, or maybe you've watched this 500 times already and I've just given you some mote of perspective on something, or an idea of how something is done, or something that he's achieved that hit you, that maybe you now understand a bit better why it sounds the way you think it sounds, or why it's cool. If I've managed any of that, I am a very happy man. That's the kind of thing that I'm trying to do with this channel. So hopefully so. Please do like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And again, if you would care to support the channel, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKreacts, at patreon.com/DavidKreacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. Any of those very gratefully appreciated. You can also just spread the word. Tell somebody, if there's something coming out and you're like, hey, you like these guys, you like Geoff, you like Home Free, you like VoicePlay, you like Voctive, whoever it happens to be I'm covering, check this guy out. His videos are very, very long, and that length might turn you off at the beginning, but they're worthwhile. I hope you think that. Anyway, word of mouth is an amazing thing for a YouTube channel. So, anyway, but I really, really appreciate the time you've spent with me today. Thank you very much. More Video Game Month stuff to come, so I hope that you will join me for the remainder of it. And yeah, you have an absolutely marvelous rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it happens to be. I don't know, if you started watching this at 5 o'clock when it released, then it might be 6:14. Did I finally get somebody? I don't know who watches my videos the second they come out. But anyway... Maybe 6:20. Took someone 5 minutes to sign in. I'll get somebody yet. Take care of yourselves. Look after yourself. Have a good one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.